Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We were just broadcasting Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouly's word before the Forum of the Builders of Egypt in its sixth edition. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us today Mr. Abdalla Kagami, the ambassador of African youth. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Well, sir, as we've just said, the Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouly was delivering his word before the Builders of Egypt Forum, and he mentioned the report of the UN yesterday that was launched by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on the human development of the year 2021. Yes.
Firstly, congratulations to Egypt for this great achievement of the construction and building. I think if you see anyone to work in will see that Egypt in just some years, little years, try to construct and do many things. I think we say congratulations to Egypt as one of the great African countries that try always to make us as Africans and Arab countries, to make us feel proud and be happy. And secondly, if you see yesterday, I think the UN and its partners in Egypt work hands in hand to enhance and to achieve the goals of sustainable developments, and they emphasize on human developments. And I think human developments, a human cannot develop if they don't have a good place to stay, or a good views to live, or a safe climate or environment to stay. And I think in this issue we'll see that the construction or the developments of these constructions try to make a conducive or a good place to live, and make human or enhance to the achievements or the developments of humans. If we see the goals of our sustainable development, starting from no poverty to moving to no hunger, to what we call it good health, good education, to the end of the 16th or 17th goal, which is the partnership of what do you call it, to reach these goals. I think if you see all these issues, and if we see the vision and the agenda of Egypt 2030, we'll know that Egypt is moving what do you call it, together
on the right track.
On the right, what do you call it, track with or the way of the world, sustainable developments in the world.
Yes. So, Mr. Kagami, in today's speech by the Prime Minister, Dr. Mustafa Madbouly, he also mentioned the report of the human development of yesterday, saying that Egypt provided a high standard of living, or raised the standard of living of the citizens through its project or its initiative that was launched by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the Decent Life. So, yes, how do you see this initiative as a...
If you see the Egypt, I think in Africa and Arab countries, I think you'll see the whole African or even the African initiatives, not only Egypt initiative. If you see the African initiatives, you'll know that Egypt is moving in the front, what do you call it, in initiating all these initiatives to see, and what makes us as Africans to be happy and to what do you call it, to follow Egypt developments is you'll see Egypt are not talking only on Egypt. For Egyptian governments are thinking to Africans, are thinking widely and analyzing wisely all the world and African Union Agenda 2060. If you see the UN, or I will say the world sustainable development, I think Egypt are moving achieving all these goals, all these African agendas, all these, and Egypt are not working only in Egyptians on Egyptians. You'll see that Egyptian government always, like now the Prime Minister is talking about the Africans and Africa and the Arab countries, the way Egypt, what do you call it, give more intention, not only in Egypt, development in Egypt, but developing Africa, developing Arab countries. And I think if you see the history of Egypt, you'll know that Egypt is not that just country that will just do things for itself or bothered with things that regarding to only the country. I think Egypt is a huge country. Egypt is a not new to Egypt. All these developments, all this, if you see the history of great history of Egypt, you'll know that Egypt is not that small country that can only afford to do little things. Yes, Egypt is one of the African and Arab countries that has many problems, but I know that Egypt
plays a great role.
Yeah, try to tackle all this, what do you call it?
Overcome
the problems,
the obstacles,
the obstacles, and what do you call it? You see this, what is happening in the corona, what do you call it? Last 2 years, Egypt did not stop in developments. You will see, if you see great what do you call it, achievements that Egypt what do you call it, achieved in these 2 years corona something, you'll know that Egypt is moving. It's not just watching, but it's moving and is thinking ahead.
Yes. So Mr. Kagama, would you talk to us about the efforts that Egypt is taking for comprehensive national development, providing a helping hand to the African countries and supporting economic development efforts in the countries of the continent?
Yeah, if you see just last months back, if you see the same thing I said just a while, that African countries, or this corona something, that the pandemics, if you see the guidance and the helps Egypt gave to African countries, I think this shows the togetherness of Egypt and with African countries. And here we will not, what do you call it, leave the role of media. The media again in other hands used to give or to spread the good deeds of what they call it, governments. And if you see in Africa or African diplomats, I think we can't ignore the what they call it, the helping hand or the good things, movements of the diplomats in Africa, the embassies. I think if we get time, we are going to talk on the role of diplomats in enhancing the broader, what do you call it, and the togetherness of African countries. The Egyptian, what do you call it, embassy, for example, in my country, Nigeria. You'll see the efforts of the diplomats in interacting and in what do you call it, in exchanging the ideas of, if you see, for example, our humble ambassador here, for Nigerian ambassador, for example, our humble ambassador Nura Rimi, he's doing I think the diplomats, 2 African diplomats in all countries of Africa, especially the Egyptian ambassador to Nigeria and the ambassador of Nigeria in Egypt. I think they are exchanging, what we call it, good movements in all aspects, and show the good parts of Egypt and Nigeria, what we call it, togetherness in all these things. And I think Egypt, if you see all these scholarships of the students, the youth developments, if you see the presidential leadership program, I think many African countries, many African youths in last year came here to Egypt. If you see the World Forum, the World Youth Forum, if you see African, Nigerian countries, African countries, we participated in huge number and even if you see all these associations and initiatives, like you said, the Egyptian initiatives, we have many Egyptian African initiatives that used to enhance the development of youth, of women development. If you see the student exchanging of for capacity building, of all these issues show us that Egypt are doing well in African countries. And I think if you see the leadership, the good and positive leadership of President Abdel Fattah Sisi in African Union, just last 2 years or last some years back, you'll see that all these issues come that show that Egypt, what we call it, bothered with all to tackle and to overcome the problems of African countries, and Egypt are doing well in this aspect. Yeah.
Yes. So, Mr. Kagama, to what extent does the Human Development Report of Egypt 2021 reflect Egypt's keenness in empowering youth in Egypt, which is a main pillar of the process of building and developing Egypt economically and also on the social level?
If you see Egypt, I think in the years, 2 to 3 years, if you see Egypt in 10 years back and now, you will know that many changes have, what we call it, occurred here in Egypt. And I think if you see the job, what we call it, the opportunities. For example, I think when I had the speech of President Abdel Fattah Sisi in just 2 to 3 days back, he's talking on the developments too in Egypt. He's saying that all these, what we call bridges, all these issues that happen in Egypt, the workers or the people that built these things are Egyptians. That means that Egyptian youth or Egyptian, what we call it, citizens are building their countries. And this building and developments and constructions are giving job opportunity to the youth and giving job opportunity to the citizens of Egypt. If you see the women 5 to 7 years back, you will know that Egypt are among the African countries and Arab countries that gave more opportunities to women in offices of government. We have many women here in Egypt that are ministers, that are what we call it. They gave them a huge responsibilities, and they are doing well here in Egypt. I think all this shows us that Egypt try to give opportunities to the youth, give opportunities to all the aspect of citizens. And I know with the idea of knowledge and ideas of the old people and the good, what do you call it, power of young people and women, I think this is one of the things that makes Egypt to become great. And I like our countries in African countries to go through this, what we call it, to do the same like Egypt did, for us to make Africa, we deserve as Africans to become what we call it, a great continent, to have this, what do you call it, development, and to make our Africa, to make it to become what we call it, good, and a good place for us, and to interact more people to Africa. And I think Egypt is one of the doors that can reach Africa to the great developments and to what we intend to do.
Yes. So, Mr. Kagama, in light of the 6th edition that kicked off today, Builders of Egypt Forum under the auspices of Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, what do you think of the importance of strengthening cooperation between Egypt and the African countries in the field of construction in supporting development projects and attracting European investments to the African countries?
Yeah, I think this is one of the great things that if Egypt did, I think African countries will, and African countries needs these issues, and Egypt is one of the great African countries, and they are near Africa with and have what do you call it, good interest with African countries, and it's better for us as Africans to what benefit from our brother in Africa than to bring what we call it, somebody or some countries that are far away to to come and construct, for example, in Nigeria, in all African countries, we need what we call it, the construction. And I think some Egyptian, what we call it, construction things are moving. For example, in Nigeria, if you see Arab contractors, that one of the great Egyptian are doing well in Nigeria, yes, and some African countries. And I think with the great African and what we call it, the enhancement of governments, yes, Egyptian governments, I think President Abdel Fattah Sisi, always in his speech, he's talking. I'm very happy with what the intention of this great president that is talking about Africa. Always, if you see he is talking, you will see the prime minister. If you what we had some minutes, or I will say back, he's talking about Africa, Arab countries, Africa, Arab countries. And I think this is a call from Egypt to African countries to come. I think
to attract
the investment. And yes, I want our leaders and our governments in Africa to accept this call and to accept this what they call it, brother, togetherness of what they call it, coordination, yes, and interaction with this Egyptian. Yes. And I think if African countries did this thing, I think Africa will be great. If yes, if they collaborate with Egypt, I think Africa will be great in all developments, human development, yes, in construction, in buildings. I think if you see the new city, the new capital of Egypt, I think
great achievements.
Yeah, great, yes, achievement of this thing. Yeah.
I thank you so much for your valuable information and for joining us today, Mr. Abdalla Kagami, the Ambassador of African Youth. Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program, The Breakfast Show. I'm Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.